Hello, my friends. Today, I want to take you on an unforgettable journey. A journey back more than 2,000 years into the ancient world. A world of pyramids, golden palaces, powerful empires, dangerous politics, and dramatic love stories. This is the incredible story of Cleopatra, the last queen of ancient Egypt. But this is not just a history lesson. This is a story filled with ambition, intelligence, courage, romance, heartbreak, and destiny. It is the story of a woman who refused to be ordinary, a woman who dared to stand against the most powerful empire in the world. So sit back, relax, and imagine the golden sands of Egypt, the shining city of Alexandria, and a young girl who would one day change history forever. More than 2,000 years ago, in 69 BCE, a baby girl was born in the beautiful city of Alexandria. Her name was Cleopatra VII Philopator. She was born into a royal family known as the Ptolemaic dynasty. This family had ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. But here is something interesting. They were not originally Egyptian. They were Greek. Cleopatra's ancestor, Ptolemy I Soter, had been one of the trusted generals of Alexander the Great. After Alexander died, Ptolemy took control of Egypt and declared himself king. And from that moment, his family ruled Egypt generation after generation. Cleopatra's father was Ptolemy XII Auletes. He was not a very strong ruler. Many people in Egypt believed he depended too much on Rome. The kingdom was rich, but politically unstable. There were always plots, secrets, and power struggles inside the palace. From a very young age, Cleopatra understood something important. Being royal did not mean being safe. Inside the palace, family members sometimes betrayed each other. Brothers fought sisters, sisters fought brothers. Power was everything. But Cleopatra was different. While many royal women of that time were not given serious education, Cleopatra studied hard. She learned philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, politics, and literature. She spoke several languages fluently, including Greek and Egyptian. In fact, she was the first ruler in her dynasty who truly learned the Egyptian language. This made her special. She did not just want to rule Egypt, she wanted to understand it. She respected Egyptian traditions. She presented herself as the living goddess Isis. She wanted her people to see her not as a foreign Greek queen, but as a true Egyptian pharaoh. Even as a teenager, Cleopatra had big dreams, but destiny was coming fast. When Cleopatra was only 18 years old, her father died. According to his will, Cleopatra would rule Egypt, but she would not rule alone. She had to share the throne with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII Philopator, who was only 10 years old. In ancient Egypt, it was common for royal brothers and sisters to marry and rule together. But Cleopatra did not want to share power. She believed she was more educated, more capable, and more intelligent than her child brother. She wanted to lead Egypt properly. At first, her name appeared alone on official documents. She tried to establish herself as the true ruler. But her enemies were afraid of her strength. They did not like the idea of a powerful woman controlling Egypt. So they acted. Cleopatra was forced out of Alexandria. She was pushed into exile. Imagine this scene: the rightful queen of Egypt walking in the desert heat with only a few loyal supporters. No palace, no army, no throne. But Cleopatra did not cry. She did not surrender. She began planning. She knew she needed a powerful ally. And soon, one of the most powerful men in the world arrived in Egypt. At this time, Rome was in civil war. Two powerful leaders were fighting for control: Julius Caesar and Pompey. When Caesar arrived in Egypt, Cleopatra saw her opportunity. But she could not simply walk into the palace. Her enemies would stop her. So she created one of the most dramatic moments in history. One night, she asked her loyal servant to wrap her inside a carpet, yes, a carpet, and carry it into Caesar's private room as a gift. When the carpet was unrolled, Cleopatra appeared. Young, confident, intelligent, fearless. Caesar was surprised, but also impressed. Cleopatra did not beg. She spoke with confidence. She explained her situation. She showed her intelligence and her understanding of politics. Caesar saw something special in her. He decided to help her. A war broke out in Alexandria. After fierce fighting, Ptolemy XIII was defeated and drowned in the Nile. Cleopatra returned to the throne. But now she had gained something even more powerful: an alliance with Rome. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar grew close. Their relationship was political, but it was also personal. In 47 BCE, Cleopatra gave birth to a son, Ptolemy XV Caesarion, often called Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. Cleopatra believed her son could unite Egypt and Rome one day. She later traveled to Rome and lived in Caesar's villa. Many Romans were shocked. A foreign queen living in their city, a powerful, confident woman who did not behave like Roman women. Some admired her, others feared her. But history changed suddenly. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated in the Roman Senate. Cleopatra lost her greatest protector. She quickly returned to Egypt, knowing that Rome was becoming dangerous. But her story was not finished. Another powerful Roman leader was about to enter her life. After Caesar's death, Rome was ruled by 3 men, including Mark Antony. Antony summoned Cleopatra to meet him in Tarsus. Cleopatra understood that first impressions matter. She arrived on a magnificent golden ship, dressed as the goddess Isis, surrounded by music, perfume, and luxury. When Antony saw her, he was amazed. Their relationship began as politics. Egypt needed protection. Antony needed wealth and support. But soon, it became love. Cleopatra and Antony spent time in Alexandria, enjoying banquets and discussing dreams of a powerful Eastern empire. Together, they had 3 children. But their love created enemies. In Rome, Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, saw Cleopatra as a threat. He began spreading rumors that she had bewitched Antony. Tension grew. War became uneventful. In 31 BCE, the great naval battle known as the Battle of Actium took place. The sea was filled with ships, soldiers, and fire. Octavian's forces were strong and organized. During the battle, Cleopatra's fleet retreated. Antony followed her. Their forces collapsed. It was the beginning of the end. Octavian marched toward Egypt. Believing Cleopatra was dead, Antony fell on his sword. But she was still alive. He was brought to her, and he died in her arms. Now Cleopatra faced humiliation. Octavian planned to take her to Rome as a prisoner, to parade her through. Cleopatra was remembered as a seductress, but history tells a deeper story. She was intelligent, educated, strategic, brave. She ruled Egypt independently for over 20 years during one of the most dangerous periods in history. She fought for her country. She made bold decisions. She refused to surrender her dignity. Even today, her name remains powerful. Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt. A woman who stood against Rome, a ruler who chose her own destiny. And my friends, her story teaches us something important. No matter how powerful your enemies are, no matter how difficult your situation becomes, you can still stand strong. You can still fight for your dreams. You can still choose your destiny. Be bold, be fearless, be unforgettable. Be like Cleopatra.